Okay, so another episode of AI's Hit. This episode is one I've been interested in for a long time, waiting for it. So as usual, we're going to attempt to understand AI's capacity for photography and focus on the history of a famous photographer of the past or present. We will ask AI, in that case ChatGPT, to give us more information about that photographer, and illustrations will come out from Dall-E and Midjourney. So this week, the voice, like last week, is going to be a little bit different. I've got a few commentaries asking for something more understandable than the older synthetic voice. So maybe that's better. It might change in the future. Don't hesitate to give me feedback. But, in the presentation, the images will be Dall-E on the left, Midjourney on the right, such as we can compare. And so let's ask AI about the bio of the photographer.
He was a German artist and photographer, born in 1902 and died in 1975. He is best known for his photographs and sculptures of the female form, particularly the doll-like figures he created in the 1930s. These figures were often depicted in erotic and disturbing poses, and were intended to challenge traditional notions of femininity and beauty. His work was heavily influenced by the Surrealist movement, and he was associated with the Surrealists in Paris during the 1930s. He was also a member of the Berlin Dada group. He was also influenced by the work of Sigmund Freud, and many of his works explore themes of sexuality and the subconscious mind. He began his career as a graphic designer, but he later turned to sculpture and photography. He produced a number of photographic series, including The Doll, 1934-37, and The Girl on the Swing, 1955-57, and his photographs often depict erotic and disturbing poses of his dolls and are considered a representation of his own psyche and his own fears.
Okay, so interesting. Again, I'm using ChatGPT's results to ask for an illustration. In this case, the photographer, for those who guessed or knew or read the title, actually, it's Hans Bellmer. And for those who know the work, this work is really very specific, with limbs from dolls attached together, and really very, how would I say, focalized work in terms of style and subject. So I was looking forward to see how it would be able to illustrate things using something else than limbs from dolls, basically. And here it's interesting. I think the results are kind of interesting, and mainly Dall-E's results are interesting, because I think we get this kind of toy-like feel in the pictures that came out, while Midjourney seemed to not understand really what was going on in terms of style, and creating those kind of cyborg, techno-looking objects or subjects, and also both are going towards something in terms of the photographic matter. It feels kind of. We do feel something similar to the work of Bellmer, but Dall-E, I think, is really bringing some of the feel, mainly in the last photos, where we really have those disarticulated kind of puppets combined together with weird limbs, and the overall feel is kind of spot on. And the two last pictures, I think both tools have kind of depicted the same thing, by luck, because I don't link them directly. It's the same prompts, but I definitely feel Dall-E is really inspired with some of Bellmer's material. As for Midjourney, it looks more generic, and it's trying to do something. There might be something, of course, but it's definitely not on par with Dall-E's results. But as we have the AI, let's ask a bit more about what makes Bellmer's style different.
Hans Bellmer is known for his surrealist photography, which is characterized by its dreamlike, fantastical imagery and its use of techniques such as double exposure, photo montage, and manipulation of the human body.
Okay, here again, those illustrations. I think Dall-E on the left, on the four pictures, overall pictures, the two from Dall-E, does a great job of making us feel it could be Bellmer-like, with those weird limbs and constructions, while Midjourney is kind of too clean, always wanting to. Well, the first two pictures, both from Dall-E and Midjourney, do have faces, but the second one from Dall-E definitely looks more like some of Bellmer's work, while Midjourney seems to focus on individuals wanting to put heads everywhere and eyes. And yeah, let's hear a little bit more.
He is particularly known for his photographs of dolls, which he constructed himself and posed in various erotic and grotesque configurations.
Okay, here again, I think Dall-E's making something really strange, really reminiscent of Bellmer's work, while Midjourney is trying to make something clean and something more, hyper-realistic. There's more poetry, to me, at least in Dall-E's results. It really seems it added physical objects together, while Midjourney, it looks more like designed toys. I don't know. Let's again listen a little bit more about the style.
This use of dolls and other found objects, as well as the manipulation of the human body, are what sets Bellmer's style apart from that of other photographers and makes it unique in the realm of surrealist photography.
Okay, here I guess the result coming out with other found objects is proposing something to both artificial intelligences to create this kind of very messy and quite there's so many objects in both of those scenes, in actually the four scenes, but more on the two first ones. Dall-E is really trying to create those kind of weird meta objects, while Midjourney is kind of creating a collection of toys. So I think Dall-E is really more spot on. The first image in this last series, I don't think it's that Bellmer-like, but the second one with those kind of weird baby toy looking object fused together is really, I think Bellmer is somewhere behind for sure, while Midjourney is really more, the results are more of a toy illustration, I guess. But yeah, as we have a virtual Hans Bellmer at our disposal, let's ask for a custom job. And basically, could we have a group of puppet limbs attached together, provoking a sensation of fear? A photograph in the style of Hans Bellmer. Interesting. The first here I've regrouped Dall-E first. The first images are going to be Dall-E, and then 4 next ones are going to be Midjourney, because just to see what comes out. Again, I did a selection of the best things coming out, but I think really Dall-E is getting it. I would have said Bellmer, looking at the 2 first pictures, and here's the 2 second ones. There's a feel a little bit less, but I think there's really something trying to. I wouldn't say it's scary, but I do feel there's something torturous inside. There's a weird story being told. The objects are kind of organic, but they're toy-like. They're kind of weird. We feel this is kind of a Frankenstein contraption. And when we go to Midjourney, here I think the 2 first pictures, it's really trying. I'm not sure it's understanding what Bellmer's work is. I don't know if understanding again is the right term, but the results are a little bit more. It looks more like various subjects attached together with some kind of cables, and it doesn't bring that uneasy feel that we have with Dall-E. It's reminiscent of Bellmer's work, and even less with the 2 last pictures. They're interesting nonetheless, but it's really having a rough time. I believe Midjourney is having a rough time not proposing heads to its subjects. So something that Dall-E obviously has no trouble with. So yeah, I hope that if you know Bellmer's work, it's going to stimulate you to go see again, rediscover his work. If you don't know his work, go check online, go check books, and go see museums if you can. Very interesting work indeed. And yeah, hopefully that was entertaining. Don't hesitate to post comments or suggestions. And yeah, catch you next week.
Yeah.